another edition of the Weekend Review with E.J. Borkart.
Thank you, Mr. Announcer Man. This is the Weekend Review, and we are going to take a look at what happened this past week on the Rebellion on Aquar. We are going to review what has happened so far in the Super Morpher. And I'm going to give you a sneak peek at what's coming next week. So, if you enjoyed these videos and you like what you see, please leave a like on this. It lets me know that you are enjoying it, that you want to see more like this, and that you value hearing what happened this past week, just in case you missed it, or you like hearing me talk about it. I like hearing me talk about it. Kind of. Yes, I do. So, anyway, let's get started with what happened in Rebellion and Aquar. So this week, John and Scott get together, and Scott tells John that he wants to work with the Masked Man. He thinks that it's too late to go back to the way things were, that doing nothing is going to end up just making them seem weak to the government, and they have to work with him. They have to keep going, and they need to start by attacking one of Scott's mining sites, because, well, if one of my sites are attacked, they're not going to think that it was me. I mean, I'm not behind this, honestly. John wholeheartedly disagrees with him. He thinks that it'll just make things worse. But if Scott says that this is the course that they'll have to take, this is the course that he's going to at least attempt to take. And so he sets up a meeting between Scott himself and the Masked Man. Masked Man, he's very apprehensive about meeting. He's convinced that John wants to kill him, that Scott wants to turn him into the Enforcers for stealing from him. He doesn't think anything good will come from this meeting. He almost leaves, but instead he goes and gets their attention and starts talking with them. And they let him know that we want you to work with the Rebellion. We want you to keep making these attacks on the mining sites, and we want you to keep doing what you're doing. It's the only way things will get better on this planet. Taryn, the Masked Man, is very hesitant to do this because he doesn't think it'll make things better. He doesn't think that the Rebellion will want to work with him, and John is already threatened to kill him if he even tries. But he agrees to do it under one condition. They don't know who he is. They don't, or he never will actually meet with them in their planning sessions. He'll only show up at the jobs. And so John goes back to tell the Rebellion what the new plan is, how they're going to be moving forward. And the Rebellion does not take it well. A lot of the men in the Rebellion lost their jobs because of the attack of the Masked Man, and they want to just do this more, put more people out of work to make things even worse, rile the Enforcers up to where they'll beat people up just for looking at them wrong. They don't agree with this, they don't like this, but John does get 20 volunteers to work with him on this. So the 20 volunteers, John, Scott, and the Masked Man all show up at one of Scott's sites. And they make sure that the security guard there sees Taryn as the Masked Man before he knocks him out. Then they put explosives on any and everything of value there, blow up the mine, blow the whole place up so that it's just completely destroyed, and they leave. And of course, the guard goes before the pedestal, makes his report about how he was attacked by the Masked Man, how he destroyed the site. And the government is like, well, is this guy an idiot? Because previously he'd been targeting the government. Now he's attacking a private mining site. Does he not know the difference between the two? They think, oh, wait, maybe Scott is behind all this. Maybe he had one of his sites attacked to take suspicion away from him. So they send someone there to go and go undercover and try and learn what they can about the company. But that all takes place in the next chapter. So make sure you come back in 3 weeks? 4 weeks? 4 weeks! 4 weeks to find out how this is going to progress and what's going to happen. But now, we need to talk about the Super Morpher. And so, Mr. Announcer, go ahead and take it away.
Previously on the Super Morpher.
The story starts out with Ryan. He is a college football player. He is very, very good at what he does, very ferocious. He's a linebacker. He gets to the ball. He's very good. And he's best friends with Jordan Goddard, who is a scientist. Very, very intelligent. He is very sciencey. And he wants Ryan to help him out with an experiment. Unfortunately, Ryan, being the strong football player, is not overly intelligent, but he does have fun mixing random chemicals and watching their reactions. While Jordan is prepping his experiment, Ryan is doing this, and as a result, Jordan uses the wrong formula, the one that Ryan's been playing with, instead of the one that he prepped beforehand. Ryan accidentally gets hit by this formula, and it gives him his superpowers. He's become the Super Morpher, with super strength, super agility, and increased healing, and, where he gets his name from, whatever he touches, his body transforms into. He cannot control this at first. He can't control when he absorbs, or how long he stays transformed. And so Jordan gives him a special pair of gloves that he can't absorb, and so that he can still touch things without becoming any strange materials. And Ryan tries to go about living his normal life, which, having super strength and not being used to it, you can end up hurting people, which is exactly what happens in the football team. And Jordan requests that Ryan quit the football team until he gets a handle on his powers. And so the two of them start training. Meanwhile, Jordan's brilliant discovery of making invincible fabric has gotten him a internship with a leading scientist in the city, a man who makes prosthetic limbs. And so Jordan works with Ryan on getting the hand of those powers, and eventually Jordan thinks that Ryan has been given these powers to become a superhero. He should go out and help people. Jordan makes him a suit out of the indestructible fabric, and then Ryan goes to his first robbery, where he fights a robot who is trying to steal jewels. Easily destroys the robot. It's a very, very primitive robot. But the police are after him. So the police don't like him. He decides to keep helping people anyway, and he fights thieves and muggers and goes into burning buildings, and he ends up getting a girlfriend named Becky, because the girl that he really likes, named Kari, won't go out with him until he becomes a Christian, but he doesn't want to become a Christian, so he's trying to make her jealous, and Becky's a lot of fun, and eventually, Ryan gets attacked by another robot, this one far more sophisticated, and he has a very difficult time beating it. And also, just the day before, a couple days before, he was going to stop some crimes, and someone ended up getting killed as a result of his aid. And he found out what gang had committed this crime, and so he went out and he beat up the entire gang and told the police where to find them. So he got this entire gang arrested. There's someone, known as the Spider, who is in charge of all the gangs, all the crime that goes on in the city. He is upset that Ryan is interfering with his business. He is intrigued because Ryan clearly has superpowers, and so he wants to find out who Ryan is and find a way to get him to work for the Spider. He wants him to be his personal bodyguard. 1, he'll be all the way. 2, he'll have his powers on his side. So he hires but as a result of the robot difficulty, Ryan goes and he decides he's going to break up with Becky. Because Becky wants him to move in with him after they've been dating for like 2 weeks. Who does that? And he goes, and his football coach tells him, "Hey Ryan, football scouts or professional scouts have been looking for you. You should really come back. You have a possible career." Ryan decides that he's going to give up being the Super Morpher thing. He just wanted to do this to get a handle on his power so that he wouldn't hurt people anymore. And Jordan is very upset. He thinks Ryan has been doing so much good in the city, and that things will get worse than they were before if he leaves now. And so Ryan does end up leaving for a week. Things do get worse, but the professional scout is very interested in him. And then one day, a distorted voice... Oh, and Jordan decides to try and give himself superpowers so that he can replace Ryan. Fortunately, Ryan knocks him out of the way before he shoots himself with his new formula, because the thing it hit started on fire, so that would have been very bad for Jordan. And then a distorted voice comes over the radio and tells him that he either needs to return, or all the gangs in the city are going to attack at once, and they will destroy the city and kill everyone in it. Obviously, Ryan can't let this happen, so he dons the uniform of the Super Morpher again and ends up going to a meeting with this guy. And, of course, the guy has a special room set up where Ryan can't see anything. He can hear who's talking, and he can respond. And so the guy gives him his ultimatum. Either join with me and become my bodyguard, or I will destroy the city. He gives Ryan time to think about it. Ryan leaves. Now, this other guy had hired a professional assassin known as the Wraith. She has the ability to completely mask herself from anyone else's senses, which makes assassinating people really easy if they can't hear, smell, see, touch, or taste you. I'm really hoping that they're not trying to taste you, but those other four senses being completely masked makes it very easy for her to do her job. Now, he's hired the Wraith to try and follow Ryan and find out who he is. Fortunately for Ryan, he's very fast, likes to run across rooftops, can jump over streets. She can't. He manages to get away before changing out of his costume, and so she has to return with her first failure on her career. She overhears the Spider talking about how they believe that Jordan Goddard might know who the Supermorpher is, because the Supermorpher seems to be wearing invincible fabric, and Jordan invented invincible fabric. So they're going to go kidnap him. And Lori decides that she wants to try and kidnap Jordan first to try and sell him to the Spider. So that has brought us up to date with what has gone on in the Supermorpher. If you want more than just this very brief update, go back, check out the series. The whole thing that has been written so far is on my archives page. And we will get started with your sneak peek. So next week, Jordan does get kidnapped, and the Spider does give Ryan the ultimatum: either come meet with me again, or Jordan will die. And the Spider and Ryan have the confrontation that is going to start something pretty gosh darn exciting in the chapters to come, if you ask me. This is the major turning point in the story, where it goes from Ryan primarily fighting just petty crime to other powered people. Which I just revealed more than I should have. Anyway, that has been the Weekend Review with me, EJ Borkart. If you have any questions for me, leave them in the comment section down below. I will answer them. Once again, please leave me a like if you liked what you saw. Leave any comments if there's anything that you think I should change or do differently. If you have any fan art of my stories, feel free to send it to me. I would love to see fan art of any of my characters. And I think that's about it for me. I'm going to get out of here. But once again, as always, please remember that it may be love that makes this world go round, but it's stories that makes the trip worthwhile. You all have a great day, great week. I'll see you next week. Bye.